Hello and welcome to our channel. Will Adele and Jacinda Phillips, and today we want to talk about what they're not telling you about moving in together.
So moving in together is a really big step, and it can be the next phase in your relationship. For some people, it feels like, hey, this is natural, this is the next thing that we should do. But we wanted to talk to you guys and just really give you some things to think about, because sometimes when it comes to moving in together, what do you know about it? What do you know about what it's like to live with another person other than maybe your family? So we have a few questions that we want to give you for you to think about, to really have with your significant other when it comes to living together. This first question is a natural question. It happens. This is how the conversation starts. Either you're saying, hey, what do you think about us living together? Or would you like to move in together? Or, I think it would be a good idea for us to live together. That's usually how it starts. That's how the conversation starts. So what we're saying is, when you're asking this question, what you want to do for the person that you're asking this question, get their true feelings about it. Let them tell you how they honestly feel about living with you.
Right, because many times when that question is posed, especially to a guy, we give 1 or 2 word answers, but we're stressing that we want you to be a little bit more expansive in your answer, and that you would actually give your true feelings.
Exactly.
Just saying that I think it would be a great idea is not sufficient. We want you to give the reason why you think it would be a great idea, or why you think it'll be a good idea.
Exactly. And at the same time, for the person who's bringing up the idea of, hey, let's live together, you are going to require them to really put in their true feedback. Now, what if they say, you know what, I thought about it, but it's really not something that I'm interested in doing. I like my space. I like the way I do things, and I'm not really ready to take our relationship to that place to where we're sharing a very close space. How do you feel about that? Are you okay with that? Can you continue to move forward in your relationship without you now living together? Are you okay with that? You have to respect each other's feelings. My thing is, if the person that you're asking, if you like to move in and they're like, yeah, it's cool, whatever, and they're not giving you anything, don't do it. I'm just going to keep it real, because I feel as though they're not going to participate in the flow and the function of the household. It'll be like, well, you wanted to move in. This was your ideal anyway. So have them, if they really have a feeling about it, whether it's for moving in or against it, let them tell you what they feel about it, and be honest and have that openness and that honesty on whether or not it's something that they want to do, and if you want to do it.
But in turn, once that, let's say the person does give a substantial answer that's sufficient, then appropriate and accepting, so that question should be in reverse as well. That the person now have given their answer or response. Now I want to ask you the same question. So now it's your turn to give your feedback, and now it's time for you to give your response as to why you think it would be a great idea to move in together.
Exactly. You started it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we would encourage you to do is really think about the motives. I guess that could kind of go with the first, why you feel it's a good idea, but really thinking about what is the motive behind us moving in together. Is it financial? Is this a good way for us to begin to build wealth, save money, and really do life financially together? Is that the motivation?
Yeah. Do we want to spend more time together? Do we want to keep tabs on one another? What is the true motive behind living together? And again, going back to number 1, being honest about these answers, being honest with your response. I think that's going to be the key. The key that we're trying to get at is communication, having a true dialogue that is conducive to the flow of your home.
Exactly.
All right, number 3, which is a big question that we want to pose. What if we're not compatible? This is a big one because chances are you don't answer this question. You don't think to even pose this question to someone you're interested in moving into your home or moving in together with or sharing a space.
It can be scary.
It can be scary, and you can see things differently. You begin to see things differently, and it could be because of their upbringing.
Well, I mean, when it comes to determining that we're incompatible, it's important for you to individually determine what makes a person compatible and incompatible. So what are some things that you value that you feel like, you know what, that's a deal breaker for me. I cannot live with a person who, you know what I mean? Like, you have to make that determination, and you have to be okay with coming to terms of we don't work well together. Just because when you move together, you are going to experience disagreements, probably often. It's normal. You're two different people. You have different perspectives. You're not going to agree on 100% of everything all the time. Some could be neatness, messy. You know what I mean? Like, what is the thing? How you handle your finances. So there are going to be things that you're going to see about one another that you may not like, honestly. But there are things that are going to be to the point where it's like, not only do I not like this, but I don't see a future with this person. I cannot continue a future with this person. Don't allow yourself to be stuck in a relationship because, oh man, I asked them to move in together. Okay, so the whole purpose of you guys moving in together was to get to know one another and really determine, is this relationship the moving forward relationship that I expected it to be? Be okay with it. Be okay with it. By no means are we encouraging you to, it's time to break up. No, we want you to have a freaking amazing relationship, the relationship that is built specifically and perfectly for you. So you really get to determine what makes us incompatible. People aren't telling you this. They're not telling you this. They're not giving you this information. So the next one that we want to share, what you expect. I don't believe that there's any such thing as an unrealistic expectation other than the ones that you don't say. If you have an expectation but you're not saying anything, then that's unrealistic because you think people are going to read your mind and know what you want out of the relationship.
Yeah, one of the things that we stress is the financial piece, because as we know that a lot of marriages break up over financial reasons. So if you're moving in together, we want to make sure that you have the right tools or right questions in place to at least start a conversation. So what are your financial habits? Are we a spender saver relationship? Are you the spender, and what is your spending habit? Are you the saver? Are you an extreme saver? And what does that look like? Okay.
When it comes to the financial piece, like Ladell was saying, understanding how each other handles finances and handles money. Are we going to be combining our income or bank accounts? Are we going to have a joint account, or are we keeping yours, mine, and then we bring our portion of the bills together to pay the bills? Like, how are we going to do this? That's something that you really want to talk about as it relates to the financial piece of it. And then on top of that, when we are living together, am I moving into your place? Are you coming to live into my place? Are we getting rid of both places if we have separate housing to combine it to one? What does that look like? Because if you're moving into my place, I have my space established. Like, how I do things, I've already set that up. You've already established your home and how you run it. Are you coming to mine? You know what I mean? Like, that's a conversation when it comes to expectations. Whose house are we living in?
Right. If we're coming into each other's spaces, it is assumed that you already know how to run your house, and that you're going to upkeep what's going on here. So we want to make sure that we have a dialogue around that conversation. I mean, around that topic. That therefore, again, that we create a seamless relationship. Or
and I've heard this before. You know, I think a lot of guys, and no offense, dudes, but listen. Just because your girl is moving into your space or y'all moving in together, don't mean she about to be doing no housewife duties. If you want her to cook and clean, bro, say it. You know, who will be doing the cooking? Who will be cleaning? Are we both going to be cleaning our home? Which I think we both should. Everybody needs to know how to clean up. And some people enjoy cooking, some people don't. You know, and it's okay, but don't assume that because they're going to be doing the cooking or they're going to be doing the cleaning. Have that conversation. Talk about it.
Right.
Talk about it. Otherwise, you will have some silent arguments because where my food at? You come home from work and you smell food, but then you go in the kitchen. It ain't nothing in there. What's going on?
Right.
Talk about it. Well, I was hungry. You don't get off until 3 hours later. I'm not gonna sit here and have food in the kitchen. You know, have the conversation.
And number 5 is our cleaning habits.
That one right there. You know what? That can be a mess. If you have the opportunity to know how a person takes care of their home before you move in, baby, go over their house and see how they keep their bathroom. That'll let you know. That will let you know. Because not everyone has the same upbringing. Not everyone has the same value when it comes to cleanliness. You know, and you want to know if we share the same or a similar value as it relates to cleanliness. Because you may be the person when I get home from work, I'm going to take my shoes off, my clothes, and just throw it wherever. To someone else, that may drive them absolutely bonkers. There's a place for everything and everything in its place. I remember hearing a lady, she did not allow her family or her man to sit on the bed when he got home from work because she felt it was nasty. He's out in the elements, and then you want to come home into my clean home and sit your behind on my bed in your work clothes. Don't you? Y'all need to talk about. You need to know people's cleaning habits, because I agree with her. Don't sit on my bed with your dirty ass work clothes on. That is nasty. But you know, we're gonna have a list. I keep smacking. We want to provide you guys with a list of kind of how to prepare yourself.
So we want to thank you once again for allowing us to come into your life. We hope the information that we've shared is helpful and beneficial. And if you would like an extensive checklist that we've created, click in the link below and we'll get that out to you, okay? See you in the next video. Continue in your greatness.
Continue in your greatness.